Beautiful people, salute. Salute to everyone. How are you? Happy Sunday, everyone. Hopefully you guys could hear me. I've been working on my little setup over here. Let me know if I'm audible to you guys. Hopefully I am. Should be. Hold on. Let me see. I think I should be good. Okay. Put some nines in the chat if y'all could hear me. Salute to the good people. Let's see if we got anyone in the building. Oh, yes, we do. Okay, my beautiful sister, the Queen Shawa, is in the building. She says, Shalom, sugars. Shalom to you as well, beautiful sister. Peace to the King Kano Loco in the building. Oh, I gotta wrench the brother Kano up. Let's wrench the brother Kano. Salute to you, King Kano. Nice to see you. The lovely King Daryl is in the building. He says, salute, beautiful Queen Sugar Free, and the rest of the kings and the queens in the chat. Yes, indeed. Big love to all the peoples. Oh, we got some nines coming in, y'all. Nines in the chat. All right. All right. Y'all know it's time. When I see the nines, it's time. You feel me? Glad to see people in the building. Salute to the great Mike in the building. Nice to see you, King. Yes. Salute to the King Rodney James in the building. We got the King Stephen X in the building. King, what's up, King? Peace be on to you as well. Nice to see you. We got the richest one in the building. Nice to see you, King Rich, as always. You know it's all love. Salute to everybody. And as you guys make your way in, hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. And of course, I'm wishing that we all had a fabulous evening of boxing last night, which is what we are here to talk about today. What? I know I was like head over heels this past weekend. I bought my pay-per-view. Ciao. I was ready to go. You couldn't tell me nothing yesterday. I was like, let's get this card popping. Okay. And I think this card started something at like 10:30 in the morning. And we were like here until, what time did that fight end? 7:45, 8 o'clock, something like that. So we literally had a full day of boxing. Okay, we were booked and busy with boxing yesterday. It was fantastic to just sit home and watch the sport that I adore. Absolutely wonderful work, you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed yourselves watching the cards, watching all the spectacular matchups that we saw. What a wonderful treat we got, you guys. Facts or no, y'all? Oh my goodness. What a fantastic and absolutely action-packed card we got yesterday, you guys. What? Turkey Al-Sheikh done did it again, y'all. Turkey done did it again. He came out big, stepping with that card, okay? That Riyadh season card, what was it called? The final crescendo. Very dramatic, and trust me, all the bouts lived up to the drama, okay? Certainly made an echo across the boxing world with the spectacular fights that we got to see. I was so impressed and pleased with the card, you guys. I can't say it enough. I was so impressed. The production, hold up. First of all, the production was absolutely phenomenal. Did you guys see that production? Did y'all see that stage, that lighting, the artwork, the screens, the images, the promo, the mini movies? It was stunning, you guys. Absolutely, visually appetizing, visually spectacular. I was so impressed sitting back. I was like, wow, the stage is a movie. Like literally the whole stage was like lit up and it was just fabulous. Fabulously put together production. Amazing work to Turkey Al-Sheikh and his team. Super impressed, okay? The setup was stunning and the fights definitely delivered some edge of your seat vibes. 10 out of 10. That's my rating for last night's production. 10-10. Excellent job by Turk, his team, and of course, to all the warriors who participated in the event. Now, as a boxing enthusiast, I was certainly satiated, completely fulfilled, tantalized, captivated. Okay, let me go on my synonyms bag. Enthralled. Okay, let me go in this bag of synonyms to pull out for y'all asses, because all of the above was on deck as far as how I felt and how satisfied I was with what it was that I got. This is boxing, y'all. That's all I can really sit back at the end of the day and say. I was like, this is boxing. This is boxing. Okay. I entered that card. I went to sleep like a baby. Okay. Like, I was like, damn, Turkey done put me to bed, y'all. Turkey done put Sugar Free to bed. Let me find the fuck out. I was so full to the brim, you guys. Fantastic work. Now, this is what us real ones want to sign up to see. When we pay our hard-earned money, I don't care if it's $35, $25, $15, $85, or whatever. When I put my damn dollar to something, I want to make sure that I am getting my money's worth. You understand? I want to make sure that my money is valued. And that's exactly what we got in return as true boxing enthusiasts yesterday. I got what I wanted, and I'm a happy camper because of that. Okay? I feel like I supported boxing. I feel like my money went, towards, a promotion and towards a mindset and towards the fighters that I like. I feel like I supported something worthwhile. I did not walk away feeling like my time was wasted or that my money or my intellect was disrespected the way we felt quite a few times over the past few years pertaining to certain fights and things like that, the way boxing has been going for the past year or so, right? Everything was on deck. And we are going to talk about all of that. And we are going to get into all of that and more. We're going to get into some boxing happenings outside of the card. We're going to talk about some subliminal shade that's been thrown. We're going to talk about some unearned passes that people are apparently giving out. We're going to talk about some official call outs that have been made, baby, Twitter beefs, and a whole lot more we're going to get into, you guys. So let me see, before I jump into it, let me see if I need to salute anybody. Cameron, the beautiful sister, is in the building. Salute to you, beautiful queen. Always good to see my sister. The King Rodney James is in the building. Nice to see you, King. Thank you for coming. All right, so let's get into this work. What do I want to touch on first, you guys? Oh my God, that was such a stacked card. I don't even know where to begin. That was a whole lot of goddamn boxing, you guys. My mind is still low-key like recouping from all of the, I feel like I was ambushed in the best way by boxing. Now, let's see. Let's start here. Let's start with Caleb Smith versus Joshua Buatsi. Let's start there, right? Now, this matchup, rather, Caleb Smith and Buatsi. You guys, this was an absolute war, okay? I can't say how impressed I was with these two men particularly, okay? Because I can't say that it was, a card that I had on my radar, even though I respect both men. I like both men. You know what I'm saying? I like Caleb Smith. I like Buatsi. I like the work that they've done and stuff like that. And of course, I'm familiar with their work. But this wasn't necessarily central in my mind when I was, as I've been thinking about this card for the past couple of weeks or more, right? This wasn't the card that stood out in my mind. I knew it was there, but it wasn't one that I was gunning for. Chow, this fight was probably a pleasant surprise. I will say that. Not that I didn't expect it to be good, but the warriorship that I saw on deck, y'all. This fight had nothing but heart, nothing but tenacity on display from beginning to goddamn end. Caleb Smith and Joshua Buatsi, did y'all see that? Nothing but heart from beginning to end. Big congratulations, of course, to Caleb Smith, who did pull the victory, okay? And guess what, though? Buatsi, sure enough, made him earn it, did he not? Buatsi made him earn that. He went in and took it, for sure, hands down, without question. But Buatsi was on deck, and he was like, nah, you want this dub, you got to take it. And that's exactly what Caleb pulled up to do. Now, I love that Buatsi did not come to play or lay down. He was on deck. Like I said, warriorship was all over this ring, to the left and to the right of this ring, and I loved it. Every bit of it. Also, you guys, let me mention this. Buatsi probably has one of the sturdiest chins I've ever seen as far as this era of boxers today. What? That man's chin is iron goddamn clad, Joshua Buatsi. Did y'all see the shots that man was eating and coming back from? Lord have mercy. Buatsi was unwavering through the onslaught of Caleb, unflinching in this fight. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But Caleb, he just had that much more extra bite. And that is ultimately what had him grab that victory. In the first round or two, Buatsi seemed to me to be controlling a little bit of the momentum to me, right? I think I gave him the first few rounds, right? He had some good body work. He didn't waste time getting those effective punches off. It seems like as soon as he stepped up, he went to work. That goes for both men. Like they was like, oh, the bell rung. The bell ringing was basically them punching into work. They clocked all the way the fuck in, and I was there for it. I loved it, right? So he seemed to have been keeping the momentum. He had the body work that was going on. He was very effective. He was placing his shots. He was calculating stuff like that. This is Buatsi. However, Caleb was also in return answering by throwing his own haymakers. Okay, Caleb was aggressive from start to finish. There was not a single moment in that fight where he wanted to back down, except for when he kind of got wobbled a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's the most he took off the gas, and that's the moment actually that Buatsi did not capitalize on for whatever reason when he hurt him. I forget what round that was. I want to say maybe the fourth or fifth, something like that. It wasn't too far into the fight where that happened. Okay. So Caleb was definitely throwing his own haymakers in response to Joshua Buatsi. Okay. The assertiveness and the dominance. It was a fight of that. It was a fight for that. Okay. The assertiveness and the dominance. It was like, all right, who is going to put their presence and their name all over this ring? It was a battle of that, and I loved it. Caleb was aggressive, and his pressure found ways early on, okay, to warn Buatsi to put that respect on his name. I like the way that Caleb Smith was claiming that. Now, in the third round, I think this was the third round, you guys, Buatsi seemed to hurt Smith, and I think that was a body shot that wobbled him, if I'm not mistaken. Child, did y'all see how Caleb dipped low like he was about to crumble? Child was like, uh-oh, somebody's knees goddamn buckling, right? But he managed to stay on his feet. So credit to Caleb. Credit to Caleb. Caleb was like, oh, I got to hold on for dear life. If I got to hold on to you, if I got to hold on to the ring, the ref, somebody I'm holding on to, baby. But I am not going down. I refuse to goddamn go down. So credit to him for sucking it up and riding the wave as best he could. Like I said earlier, you guys, in this moment where he kind of rocked Caleb visibly and apparently, Buatsi, for some reason, did not keep the pressure to Caleb's body. Okay? Especially in those following rounds. After seeing him hurt, after seeing that devastation caused by a body shot, he did not keep up the aggression and the onslaught to the body. I'm not sure what was going on with him with that. I heard no urgency from his corner telling him to remain on the body, telling him to fixate on the body. He had no fixation on the body, and after a while, he looked to be, kind of headhunting. Everything was chest up. He refused, it seemed to me, to penetrate the body. I don't know why he abandoned the body the way that he did. I really do think that if he stayed there, he could have really done some really serious damage to Caleb, because Caleb was obviously very sensitive there and he was not responding well. That wasn't the only time he was hit with a body shot. He didn't have the dramatic responses he did in that particular round where he was wobbled. But certainly, when he was getting hit with them body shots, he didn't like it. Caleb Smith. So I don't know why Buatsi didn't dedicate to that body. I don't know what was the problem with him letting up on the gas to that body. I have no idea. But, like I said, Caleb was clearly affected by that. And, the non-commitment to that particular assault and keeping that assault up probably cost him this fight, real talk. Now, Caleb, because of this, was allowed to regroup, and he was able to wind, his own engine up. He was able to get a second win, as quickly as he could. And he started throwing his, haymakers once again. That was it. And it was no let up from that point on, you guys. Caleb's pressure increased and increased and increased as those rounds began to progress. And he started answering with his own onslaughts and, funny enough, with his own body shots and combinations to Buatsi now, right? And Buatsi kind of let up off the gas as time went on. Interesting stuff, you guys. It was a real tit for tat battle, and both of them were going toe to toe. Both of them were locking horns. It was really a test of the will. It was wonderful to watch. Okay. Buatsi, tried to be as undeterred as he could be. Okay. He picked up his own pressure. He started to, coming back with his own shots. He didn't wither away. He didn't give up. He didn't, regress too badly. No, he wanted to show low. I got skin in this game. Truly a war, but ultimately, Calum's absolute thuggery, because that's what it was. Absolute thuggery. That's what led him to his victory. The man looked beautiful. Calum Smith is a dog. Real talk, I haven't really put too much respect, or I should say I put respect on his name, but I don't think I've given him enough. That man looked absolutely beautiful in that ring, you guys. Did y'all see Calum in there working? That man was getting busy up in that ring. It's like, yes, Calum. I'd love to see him fight any of the best, around him. Any of the best. Put him in there with any of the top guys over there, and it's going to be a fantastic fight. That man comes to fight, okay? He's earned so much more of my respect. His output in that ring was something serious. If that man was fatigued, he didn't show it at all. You know what I'm saying? Outside of, receiving that body shot and stuff like that, that man showed no fatigue. He was throwing, it's like if they gave him 5 more rounds, he would have kept up that same exact pace. Okay? He wanted to demolish Buatsi. It was evident, and his hunger prevailed. It really did. It was beautiful to watch him in there doing that fantastic work. He was throwing from his soul. That man was turning them punches from his waist. I was like, yes, Calum. Yes, do it. Buatsi, I think he just let up a little bit too much, especially in those latter rounds. Like I said, he also abandoned the body, which I don't think served him all too well. But fantastic matchup from both men. It was an absolute war. Absolute war. Congratulations to both of them. But of course, most of all, Calum Smith walked in there and snatched that W. You feel me? The way a real one should. So congrats to him. That was definitely one of my favorite fights of the night. Now, let's talk about this Diego Hamza Shiraz versus Adames, the despicable outcome of this fight, you guys. Now, the real ones up in here in the building know what time it is, okay? How the hell was this fight scored a draw, you guys? A draw? I was sitting back like, excuse me? Let me wipe my eyes. Let me get some Q-tips, because I don't think I heard this right, and I certainly am not seeing what it is that I am seeing. That's all I could think as I, heard the final call and the judgment of that particular fight. Adames outclassed. He didn't only beat, he outclassed goddamn Hamza Shiraz. Okay? It was not even close. He completely dominated Hamza Shiraz. Excuse me? What a disgrace, you guys. Absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. I couldn't even believe what I was witnessing, y'all. All over Twitter, people are like, excuse me? I couldn't stop, scrolling down and seeing, robbery, because it's like, it seems like they wanted to give Hamza Shiraz the spotlight without castigating too obviously Carlos Adames. You know what I'm saying? It's like they wanted to do both, and they didn't want to completely castigate Adames publicly to receive all of the weight from the backlash that they know that they would get if it was, given, blatantly to Shiraz. But at the same time, they did not want to take the W from Shiraz at the same time. They tried to do a balancing act, in other words. How crazy was that, y'all? Adames, listen, Hamza Shiraz had no response to Adames's head movement, to any level or matter of his defense. His footwork, his head movement, everything, his boxing, his body work, he had no response for. Goddamn, Hamza Shiraz wasn't even throwing punches in those goddamn latter rounds. That man was virtually standing up there with his goddamn guard up, and Adames was just eating through that man's body. How the hell was that scored a draw? How was that scored a draw? On what planet was that a draw? I just don't understand this. Absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. And like I said, they knew that they were going to get backlash from the people who really know what the hell it is that we are watching, but they wanted to do it without completely saying, oh, let's give Adames a loss. Let's give him an L. They didn't want to do that. They tried to be slick with it. Crazy work, y'all. Absolute crazy work. There is no way that was a draw. That man dominated Hamza Shiraz. That man met his match with Adames in front of him. He met his match. That's simply all it was. He was not a better fighter than Adames. Adames showed up and he proved that. And they gonna cheat this man with a goddamn draw decision? Y'all. I was not feeling it at all. At all. Absolute disgrace. I know they didn't give him the full on, they didn't give Shiraz the full on W, but still. Is this fight going to have a rematch? What a waste of time. But a rematch should most certainly happen, because I think that if it would, hopefully Adames will show. I have no doubt actually that Adames will show up and do an even worse job on this motherfucker. There's no way in hell Shiraz had anything for no goddamn Adames. He had nothing for him. He looked okay, in the first, initial rounds or whatever. But baby, at least from round 4 or 5 and onward, it was all Adames. That man was destroying that man's body, something lethal. He was giving it to him. He was stepping to that man, tearing him up. I didn't like that. That's probably really what left a sour taste in my mouth, if anything, about this card. Cause I say overall, this card was fantastic, but that particular card, matchup, oh my goodness, you guys, I was not happy with it at all. Not happy. I guess it could be worse. Like I said, they could have really, really robbed him and gave him a loss, but still Adames won that fight. Clearly there is no way in hell that should have been anything but a victory for that young man. Let me check on my people really quickly. I see some movement going on in the chat. Salute to anyone who just came in. Let me see. Oh, we got the Todd Swindle in the building. Salute to you. Todd says they're both peeing blood today. Facts, King. Salute to the King Steph Brown in the building. Nice to see you. The King Snoopy Dream Team is in the building. Nice to see you, Simon. Oh, G-Chain, how are you? I'm not sure if I saw you before, but hello, salute to you. Thanks for joining. He says, what a fight. Absolutely, you guys. Hey, Jut, we got the King Jut in the building as well. Thank you for coming. My beautiful sister Chiquila is in the building. Hey, beautiful queen. We got the King Mo on deck. Okay, y'all know I get excited when I start seeing my people come in. Salute to the Boxing Scholar. Nice to see you. We got the Key of Life 7 times in the building. Peace. We got the lovely King Freedom's March in the building. Salute, King. Nice to see you. Thanks, everybody in the building. Oh, we got the intelligent one that came to see his girl today. Thank you for coming to check on your girl. Peace and blessings to you, King. Always lovely to have you. Yeah, you guys, what did you guys think about that Adames fight? How crazy was that? Hamza had no response for that. He didn't know what to do with all that movement, with all that defense, with all that footwork, with all that onslaught coming to him all at the same time. He didn't know what to do with that. The great Mike says, Adames was a slippery target. Wasn't he? He could not figure that out. He was like, hold up. This nigga is coming at me with all types of onslaughts, body pressure, all types of pressure. And he's ducking and evading? Goddamn. He was scared of that man. He didn't know what to do with all of that. The King Stephen says his Excellency has a bias for his favorite fighters, to be honest. You know what? We're going to get into that a little bit at a particular point that I will mention that really does point a finger at that and shed a light on that, King Stephen, a little bit later in the discussion. Salute and thank you for the super chat to the beautiful King Rahom, and thank you for the 2-piece. He says, the beautiful queen. Thank you, King. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for the first super chat of the day. You guys know I always forget to say this. Definitely make sure you guys hit the like button, share the content, and definitely feel free to paint the room because I am a woman who loves color. So definitely color up the room for your girl. Show some love. All right. So let's if I stay on this too long, y'all, I'm gonna really start getting mad. And like I said, the card overall made me happy. I don't want to lose that mood, but it has to be said that was a bullshit ass scorecard. It was a bullshit ass ultimate decision that was made to score the fight between Hamza and Adames as a draw. Now, I don't recall hearing anything about a rematch or anything like that. When something like that's going to take place, you know, I don't even like to think about it in all reality, because when I do, I just think about the robbery of Adames, and I'm just mad. And it's like, well, he shouldn't have to go through a part 2 for something that was clearly taken by his own hands. So I think it's a waste of time. But if, of course, a rematch does get set up, I could only anticipate that Adames will not leave it in the hands of the judges for the second go round if that opportunity were to present itself again. But Adames clearly won that fight, hands down, no motherfucking question. Now let's get on to this next one, y'all. Let's get on to this next fight. What do I want to touch on? Let me see what I want to do next. Let's do this. Let's do Virgil Ortiz versus Israel Madrimov. This is a good one. Yeah, let's do that one. You guys, this turned out to be also one of my favorite matchups of the night. And I can't say like with Caleb Smith and Buatsi that it wasn't one that was on my radar, because that's not the case. This one was on my radar. It was just quietly buzzing on my radar. Okay. I was so pleasantly not surprised, real talk, because I did have Virgil, winning the fight in my view. But I don't know. I guess I was just very pleased with the display from Virgil Ortiz that he proved me right. You know what I'm saying? Virgil Ortiz is one of my favorite fighters. And I think last night really solidified that for me personally. I've liked him for a bit of a good little while now, but he's definitely on my list of gunners. I can say that confidently. I can say that absolutely confidently now that he has officially joined my list of gunners. Virgil is an animal. He's been that, for a long time. I don't know a time where he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But last night, he just, I don't know. I'm super sweet on him now. So I loved what it was that I saw. Going into this fight, you guys, I was wondering if it would be a complicated back and forth. I was wondering if it would be a complicated back and forth. Like I said, though I had Ortiz, I wasn't quite sure what to think, particularly because Madrimov got quite a bit of praise, as we know, for, hold up. I think I saw some color. Hold on. Oh, yes, the King Freedom's March is in the building with the 5-piece. I just laughed at myself again, you guys. Excuse me. When I get excited, I'm such a girl. But anyway, salute to the King's Freedom's March in the super chat with the 5-piece. Thank you, King. You already know what time it is. Nothing but love to you, King. He says, flowers for my spiritual queen. Virgil showed out. Would love to see him face Crawford one day. Child, we gonna get into it. We gonna get into it, King Freedom. You already know. I'm about to touch on that. Now, like I said, before we get into that, I was quite, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what to expect with this fight. I wasn't sure what to think because, of course, Madrimov was coming off of a fight in which he received a lot of praise, a substantial amount of praise for his fight with Crawford, right? So, although he lost that fight with Terrence Crawford, he's coming off of a somewhat, if you will, confidence booster, okay? If only from the fans who thought that he not only held his own against Crawford, but from people who, by the droves, think that he won that particular fight with Terrence Crawford. So not only do people find that fight to be probably the most that we've seen as far as competitive back and forth for Terrence Crawford, but people felt that, there are people out there who feels like Madrimov really, really edged the fight, that he was the victor of that fight. Interesting stuff. So with that in mind, I was anticipating some action. I was anticipating some, combat, some head-to-head, toe-to-toe, back and forth type of stuff, right? Even though I went into the matchup with Virgil, getting the W for this particular matchup. And sure enough, my guy, Virgil Ortiz, did not disappoint. Salute to the king, Virgil Ortiz. He snatched the W in spectacular fashion. Excuse me? Virgil said, oh, y'all got to be fucked all the way up, baby. Okay, Virgil put on a shutout performance. A shutout performance, you guys. Okay? Beautiful work from Virgil Ortiz. I gave Madrimov maybe 2 rounds. I want to say something like that. Ortiz destroyed Israel Madrimov. Destroyed him. He broke him all the way down in a beautiful demolition job, you guys. What a fantastic showing that was. I loved it. Now, Madrimov's awkward style, okay, did nothing for Virgil Ortiz. That awkward style, that he showed up with to Terrence Crawford, the fainting, the flinching, any type of that awkward stance that he stands in didn't mean a damn thing to Virgil. In fact, I'd even posit that I did not see the fainting in particular or the flinching as much as I did in that fight with Crawford from Israel. He did not bring that here to that degree, not to the dramatic degree that he did with Crawford. However, even though he switched it up a bit, he was still on his toes and he still had a lot of movements. He wasn't necessarily fainting as much, as excessively as he was, but he was definitely on his toes, a lot of movement throughout the fight. In fact, one could even posit that Madrimov was on his bike. One can even say that he was on his bike the way that Madrimov was goddamn moving around that ring, constantly circling around the ring, bouncing, trying to work the jab, staying on his, literally running in circles at particular moments in that fight to me. This, however, was certainly largely ineffective to Ortiz in my view, you guys. Okay, all of that movement, it didn't phase Ortiz. It didn't hinder Ortiz from affecting his own onslaught and from having success, getting his pressure sustained. It did nothing to soothe or quell Ortiz's aggression, all of that movement. He could not escape Ortiz's aggression, even with all the movement that he was doing. Ortiz closed the distance. He had his own jab that was lovely and effective, and he was able to land some wonderful combinations in that early half of the fight. Victor Ortiz, wonderful work from him. Smart boxing. Now, as the rounds proceeded, Ortiz, he started to turn the heat up more and more, if you guys recall, on Madrimov, right? He begins attacking the body more, right? Steadily and steadily. We see Ortiz getting meaner and meaner with each punch. The man's intention on those punches, you guys. Did y'all see how Ortiz was sitting on them things? Oh my goodness, beautiful work. Beautiful work, the way that man was sitting down on them things in the latter half of the fight. Intelligent pressure. That's the best way that I could describe the work that Mr. Ortiz was doing. Intelligent pressure, okay? Ortiz was working smart. Although he was venomous and vicious and mean, he was not greedy, okay? We saw intelligent pressure from Virgil Ortiz. He was on the lookout for counters from Madrimov's, but, he was stepping at the same time. He was not evading. He was not fearful. He was calculated about how he wanted to get his food, and he did just that. There were moments of toe-to-toe exchange between the two men, even though, Madrimov, like I said, was bouncing all around that ring, dancing all around the ring. There were moments where, Madrimov kind of clicked in his head like, nah, let me at least stand in a pocket in little moments to show this dude that I'm not scared, right? It seemed that Madrimov wanted to show that, listen, I'm in the game, and we can bang it out if you want to. But with the type of pressure that Ortiz was bringing, he quickly ran his ass right back on that goddamn bike and got out of the way. He did not want to stand there and get busy with no goddamn Ortiz and exchange too deeply and too, for prolonged period of time with no damn Ortiz, right? Because when Ortiz let them hands go, baby, Madrimov was pretty much rendered susceptible to all of the punishment that Ortiz saw fit to give. Am I lying or no, y'all? That man was stomping through Madrimov at any given time. Particularly, it seemed more and more as the rounds progressed. He could just touch that man up whenever he wanted, and it was a demolition job when he did. Madrimov, to me, you guys, he was one-dimensional. You know what I'm saying? And even all of that movement became one-dimensional as the fight went on. It's like, okay, well, what else do you have? And I think that's why in those particular moments, as Afra mentioned, he wanted to show, okay, well, let me stand here and bang it out, throughout this round. And so he tried to switch it up, but he just didn't have enough range to me. He didn't have enough range to deal with Virgil Ortiz, okay? One-dimensional. Most of his shots were, singular. Right? When he was punching, he didn't have enough combinations, whereas Ortiz was the more versatile one. Okay? He was versatile with his punches. He was effective with his jab, but he's not afraid to throw some combinations. And after he does that, he gonna stick it to the body. He gonna stay at the body, and he gonna tear you up. You know what I'm saying? It was just more onslaught from Virgil Ortiz. More versatility from Virgil Ortiz, and more effectiveness overall from Virgil. That running around that Madrimov was doing, you guys, I don't know what, I guess maybe he figured that of course he's going to study his opponent. And I think everybody, of some type of cognizance about Ortiz's style knows that he's a banger. He likes to bang. He likes to brawl. But what I did like was that, Ortiz wasn't limited to just banging. You know what I'm saying? He boxed smart as well. He used his jab well to me, in this fight. He was not limited in any type of way. It looked like he could have, used any tool that he wanted. You know what I'm saying? And it would have been backed by the power that we know that he gives, the aggression that we know that he presents in his fights. But he wasn't limited in his arsenal. You know what I'm saying? He could use his jab, and his jab could open up, you know what I'm saying, all of the body shots that were there. Or even his jab, had a lot of power behind it at particular moments. It was wonderful to watch. I really, really like that. And like I said, Ortiz earned his way on the list of gunners for me. He definitely won me over again. You know what I'm saying? I was already a fan of his, but he definitely moved up several notches on my list of gunners. Salute to the King Ortiz. Beautiful work. It was a shutout. Like I said, I don't think I gave Madrimov 3 rounds. I think I gave him like 2. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful fight. Absolutely beautiful fight. Now, with that being said, I couldn't help but think to the lovely King Freedom's March's point earlier, like, this is who Terrence Crawford should be fighting. You know what I'm saying? I think we discussed that a few lives ago where I was telling you guys that I am not, I am not impressed whatsoever about this, Canelo fight that's supposed to be happening at some point this year with Crawford. That's not what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't get me excited at all. I want to see Crawford in there with Ortiz. I want to see Crawford in there with Jamel Charlo. You feel me? Like, I want to see him in there with his weight classmen. I don't give a goddamn about Canelo. I really don't. And, the performance that Ortiz put on last night is just a further showcasing of how wonderful it would be for all of boxing. And I think for Crawford's legacy to fight the likes of somebody like these particular type of men at 154. I mean, after all, that's the division that he chose to, grab a strap at. You know what I'm saying? Why did he waste his time grabbing a belt in a division that he was just going to leave 30 seconds later? It doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me even more pissed seeing how beautiful Ortiz, was looking last night and the wonderful performance that he put on. And now, it's a possibility that Crawford won't ever come back to 54 and fight him or any other sharks replete in that particular division of 154. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. That pisses me off. But either way, Ortiz is an absolute animal, a lion, a king. And He's definitely one of the worst monsters in that division. I can't wait to see what's next for him. Anybody he fights, he is going to be a problem for. That is no doubt. You feel me? Wonderful work from the King Ortiz. Let me see what my people are talking about. Let's see here. What y'all think about that fight? Did y'all like that Ortiz fight? The King Dow says, damn, I still don't want to believe Virgil Ortiz is that good, but I got to give the man his credit. Hey, beautiful job. Beautiful job. Why you don't want to believe that? You don't like him? What you mean you don't want to believe he's that good? You don't have a preference for Virgil Ortiz? Salute to the King's Freedom's March back in the super chat with a 2-piece. He says, we're supposed to be spiritual twin and queen. Okay. Ogu on deck. Aibo bo aoshena go. Okay. T Hunt, nice to see you, King. He says, salute Sugar Free. And he put a 9, my number in the chat. That's right. You already know what time it is. Garfield, nice to see you. I'm not sure if I've seen you before in the chat, but salute to you. He says, Madrimov is like a rabbit jumping side to side. Wasn't he? That man was a bouncing and a hopping and a dancing all over that damn ring. And I haven't heard not one person say he's a runner. Has anybody been online complaining, about Madrimov being a runner, being a goddamn track star? I haven't seen any posts, complaining about Madrimov's particular, style choice last night against Ortiz. No complaints whatsoever. We got Be Easy, that dude in the building. Salute to you. He says, Ortiz is more technically sound and hits harder than given credit for. Absolute facts, Be Easy. Absolute facts. Absolute facts. Wonderful, wonderful showing. And you're right that he does not get that particular type of credit on the, as far as like overall in the boxing world. I don't really hear people give him that type of credence. They just label him, come forward. He comes forward, impression and stuff like that, aggression and stuff like that, because I guess that's the most notable thing. He's a real warrior. He comes with fire, you know what I'm saying? And not a quiet fire. He is all fire. And so I guess that's the most, dramatic, I guess, aspect of his style that is instantly visible. But he is definitely technically sound, and I think he put on a beautiful display of that against Madrimov, who is supposed to be technically sound but got completely outclassed by Ortiz last night. Wonderful display for sure. Oh, Be Easy also says Madrimov regressed. You think he regressed, or do you think he was just exposed? I hate to say that word, right? Because it's kind of a cliche, but, do you think he was, for lack of a better word, exposed? The King Steven says, Madrimov didn't look good. Nah, he didn't look good at all to me, King Steven. He had his, little moments and stuff like that, but he did not look to be the person that he was made to seem he was coming off of that particular fight with Crawford. Salute to the King NBA D Nice. What's up, King? Thank you for coming to see me. Thank you for coming to chill with me and the family today. I appreciate it. Hey, Queen Tay-Tay, my sister's in the building. Salute to the Queen Tay-Tay. Thank you for coming, beloved. Y'all know I love to see my sisters in the building. Yeah, you guys, I thought it was a wonderful display from the King Ortiz, and I can't wait to see what's up next for him. Now, let's get into this, because I have to do this one next, you guys. Okay, Shakur Stevenson versus Josh Padley, the UK electrician. I didn't even know he was a goddamn electrician. I heard that he had the job and stuff like that, but it was people speculating for, earlier, last week about what it was that he does. I heard somebody say he worked at FedEx. I heard somebody say that he packed boxes. Child, what the hell? But I heard, of course, it was confirmed that he is indeed an electrician. I saw him in an interview explicate what he actually does by day. So he is an electrician indeed. Now, what a fight this was, you guys. No cap. No cap. Now, I will say that this was one of the fights that I was most looking forward to. Absolutely, you guys, hands down. The fight with Shakur Stevenson, I was looking forward to. Now, of course, after the duckery of sassy daddy Schofield and his damn son, I was left with a sour taste in my mouth, to say the least. I was not happy about it. I was like, excuse me, who's pulling out of the what? Somebody's not fighting who? I was not having it, y'all. I was super, super upset because, of course, we don't want the fight to get scrapped. We don't want to say, oh, well, there's one less fight on this particular card. I was so goddamn mad. But enter Josh Padley to save the day. Straight off of his 9 to 5, that man said, I'm clocking out of work and I am stepping in to save the day and fulfill the purpose of this card. And he did just that, okay? The electrician by day and the boxer by night came through to save the fight card from being cast completely aside. And I thank Josh Padley for that. I thank his manager. Okay. I thank the customers who receive the good old services of Josh Padley for being understanding during this time. Thank you, because he definitely saved the card, and he definitely saved Shakur Stevenson. That's for sure, because the last thing he needed was another fight thrown and chucked to the goddamn trash can. You feel me? So thank you, Josh Padley. I appreciate it. Definitely came through and saved the day. Padley came through with a lot of mystery around him, you guys. Okay. Even though there was a lot of jokes going on about what he does and stuff like that, to feed his family, provide for his family, there still was a lot of mystery around this dude. He is a professional fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's an electrician, but he's a pro fighter. You know what I mean? He get his money however he can get it, apparently. And that in and of itself, when you think about that particular type of mindset, it's like, oh, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? He gets in where he can get in. He don't really mind, the glitz and the glamour. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't mind being talked about. He doesn't mind having to do, whatever it takes to accomplish his goal and to survive, pretty much. That's a mindset you got to think twice about. You know what I mean? When somebody got it all, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, Joshy. So he was coming in with some goddamn mystery around him. For sure. In his last fight, also, Josh Padley pulled an upset win against Mark Chamberlain. Okay. And that was back in September. So he wasn't coming, softly. This man knows what he's doing. He's a fighter at the end of the day. We don't really know him like that, but this man fights. And like I said, he pulled off an upset victory in his last fight only a few months ago. Not too long ago, you guys. So he brought an element of a wild card, in other words, to this particular bout, although we were not largely familiar with him. Now, because of this, when I put that into context, and how anything goes in boxing, it was virtually impossible for me not to at least be curious about if it were feasible in some type of dimension of the universe, right? That this man could possibly pull off an upset against goddamn Shakur Stevenson, you guys. It was impossible for me not to think about that. You know what I'm saying? It definitely crossed my mind. Despite all of my belief and all of my faith and all of my, support around Shakur Stevenson, it motherfucking crossed my mind, y'all. No cap. And I already know it crossed your mind too. It's like, oh my goodness. Imagine if this man come out of nowhere, this man fresh off his job, eating a goddamn ho-ho and some chips and a beer on his lunch break. This motherfucker get on a plane and beat Shakur Stevenson? Oh my God. Imagine the outcry in the boxing world. Imagine how that would reverberate in the boxing world, y'all. Crazy work. So it definitely crossed my damn mind. And you know what? Boxing is a crazy place, y'all. Anything can happen. So I was really just trying to not put the juju on Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? By thinking too, much of it. But at the same time, I could not help but have that thought just run in front of my mind real quick. Like, whew, that shit just ran in front of my mind. I was like, oh shit, this motherfucker better not come over here and do the unthinkable. Because anything can literally happen, you guys. But that being said, Shakur Stevenson showed the fuck up. Do you hear me? Shakur Stevenson did not disappoint himself. He did not disappoint us. And he swooped up not only a dominant victory, but a TKO victory at that. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job from Shakur. And he did exactly what we wanted him to do, was to get that motherfucker out of there. He did just that. So excellent work. And I wiped my child. My forehead was sweating. I was looking like Whitney Houston, child. You know how Whitney be sweating when she be hitting them notes, child? I had my towel. I was dabbing my forehead like a motherfucking preacher in church, baby. Woo, I was sweating. I was like, Shakur, don't do me like this. Don't do it, Hunty. Don't do it to me, Hunty. Hunty Shakur, do not do this to me. All right? Because I'm a motherfucking be fighting you next. And I don't think you want the smoke with Sugar Free. You feel me? I was ready to get it cracking with Shakur. Like, hold on. Send me a motherfucking offer, Shakur. Because you done fucked up messing with my goddamn emotions. What? I was so like, yo, don't do this to me, Shakur. Please don't do this to me. Okay? Now, let's fucking go, Shakur. I'm glad that he showed up to the occasion. I'm glad that he stepped up to the call and he handled business. Okay? This fight, y'all, I can't even tell you how much this fight had me on the edge of my seat. Did y'all notice that the audience was mad quiet? Did y'all notice that? Like in the first few rounds, y'all, like I want to say like the first 5 rounds of that fight, that or you could hear a pin drop in that audience. That's how intensely people were watching that particular fight. I think everybody was like waiting for the slightest success of Josh Padley to happen. And not only were they waiting for that, but they were like, damn, is it something that can take Shakur off his game in any particular type of way? That audience was so goddamn quiet. I swear to God. I swear to God, y'all. It was like, damn, you could hear a mouse pissing on cotton up in there for the first few rounds. I was on the edge of my seat, you guys. No cap. You know, and it's simply because I knew, you know, at least on my end, I knew that there was so much at stake for Shakur, you guys. I knew that everything was riding on this particular type of fight. Even despite the fact that he had the last minute switch of opponents, even though he wasn't fighting Schofield like everyone was in preparation to see him fight, there was still so much on the line for him, and probably even more so because of the switch of opponent. More was riding on this for Shakur because he's virtually fighting somebody that no one has, you know, heard of before. Not to the capacity of Schofield for us, you know, on this side at least. Maybe people in the UK are more familiar with him, but on this side over here, you know what I'm saying? We don't know about no goddamn Josh Padley. So even more was riding on this fight. So it's like, you know, Shakur low-key had twice the amount of pressure on him because this is supposedly a nobody who got a motherfucking day job at that. So he had to show up. Everything was riding on Shakur to show up because, Lord have mercy, if this man did not show up for whatever reason, baby, all the you know, disavoweling that he received, all the berating that he received previously would have been paling in comparison to what the onslaught would have been if he did not look good against this particular person yesterday, y'all. For real, for real. Like, so much was at stake for him. So I was low-key on pins and needles, like I said, for the first round of, let's say the first 5 rounds or so. Okay? I'd say it wasn't until the 6th round for me personally that I became a little bit more relaxed and I found some repose where I started to say, okay, Shakur is doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? There's levels to this and it's obvious at that point. But I didn't find a sense of ease until after the 5th round. I was just so intense and so on my toes. Now, the first round of the fight, Shakur was, I don't know if y'all noticed that, but that man was like more alert than a goddamn alley cat. Did y'all see Shakur's alertness? That man's reflexes was on 20. He said, fuck 10, baby. My reflexes are going on 20. All right? Shakur wasn't trying to hear nothing. That man his eyes was big. He looked like he could have saw Josh Padley from a mile away. He was ready for anything. And I respect Shakur for that because it's a last minute replacement. He did not prepare for this gentleman. You know what I'm saying? So he was extra cautious. He was extra ready for whatever Padley brought. Okay? So I liked what I saw there. I think in that first round, Core popped Padley with a good overhand left. And it basically, to me, set the tone that Shakur Stevenson was going to be controlling the ship. That was his intention from the outset. He came in swinging. He did not start slowly. He came in, you know what I'm saying, throwing something, which was a good way to establish the energy in the room and of course, in the ring, most of all. Shakur did a nice job pouring his jab. He did a good job popping that jab and flicking that jab and touching up Padley in that early round. And guess what? Padley also kept to his jab and he stayed composed. And before suddenly, you know what I'm saying? Did y'all see when Padley basically jolted out and he tried to stab Core to the body? I was like, okay, Padley. You know what I'm saying? So surprisingly, there was some speed to Josh Padley, which was interesting. And I think in that particular moment and in moments throughout the fight, when he would jolt out quickly like that and attempt to, get Shakur, that's why you heard the crowd going, oh, oh, because nobody's anticipating, you know what I'm saying, any type of success on his end. So when it looked like, even when he wasn't having success, or if he happened to miss or something like that, or whether he did have a bit of success, the crowd was just like, oh my goodness, wow. You know what I'm saying? So good work from Josh Padley. He really did, try to do his best. But, seeing that little quick speed that he had, I was like, okay, Padley is a sneaky one. He's a sneaky one. So it was definitely, great, experience on the part of Shakur Stevenson to beware of that. Even though he had little intel going into the fight, he immediately picked up on that sneaky ability of Padley because he is quick. He doesn't seem the most technically sound, but he is very quick and he seems to be very resourceful with what he does have. There were spurts of explosion from Padley, that had to be respected, and Shakur did just that. Padley took risks, and he made it clear that he was unapologetically there to compete, which is what I respected on the part of Padley. He's like, yeah, nigga, I just clocked out like motherfucking 7 hours ago, nigga, but I'm here to compete. And I respected that. I definitely respected that. He didn't come to lay down. He wanted to compete and do his best. Shakur Stevenson, however, did a great job at quelling those spurts and those moments of explosion from Padley with his own jab. Of course, Core has a very educated jab, and he was able to use it quite effectively as the rounds progressed. Anytime there was a moment of entanglement between them, because I don't know if you guys recall, there were moments where Padley will entangle with Shakur Stevenson and stuff like that. Shakur, when they would get entangled, would throw some nice little shots to the body, which was great. And when they were back in formation, he'd get some nice combinations in here and there. Shakur's jab was too educated for Padley, you guys. Okay? Everything was too educated for Padley. Shakur virtually touched him up at will when the rounds progressed. Oh, did you guys see how DP said coming straight from Publix, not Publix. Damn. Salute to the King DP, by the way. Oh my goodness. I just happened to see that and cracked me up. Not Publix DP. Damn. Motherfucker came from Winn-Dixie. All right. Straight into the ring, y'all. But did y'all see that part where Shakur's hand began giving him problems? I was so worried when I saw him flick his left glove when he started flicking his wrist. I didn't really notice it until the announcer had mentioned something about it. And I was like, okay, I think I missed that part. But, Core wasn't showing any signs of pain. So I figured, oh, okay, maybe it wasn't anything serious or severe. But when I did catch it the next time, and I'm like, uh-oh, I did see that. I think it happened at least 3 times or something like that. You guys, when I saw that motherfucker twist his goddamn wrist and shake it, and then I saw his face grimace one of those times afterwards, I said, oh, Lord, no. Lord, please, no. Not now, Lord. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Not today, Jesus. What? I was so worried. But, Shakur Stevenson is a trooper. You know what I'm saying? He's been dealing with his hand all his goddamn life. And certainly, for the time that it's been giving him these particular types of issues. So he knows how to ride the wave of it. And he did not let it affect him moving forward. He did not refrain from throwing, his left hand. He still was mixing it up. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then. He did switch at a particular point. He did switch to orthodox at a particular point and started banging that way. But he never became too reticent about throwing his left hand, which is the testament to the warrior heart in him, because he started banging and sitting on them punches on Padley in those later rounds. And of course, ultimately that pressure And that sitting down on his punches is what, knocked Padley down. I want to say something like 2 times. So excellent work to Shakur Stevenson, who got Padley out of there in the 9th round. Spectacular, spectacular victory for the young king, you guys. I was so worried. I said, please don't let this man get embarrassed like this. I can't take it. I can't take it. Even though Shakur Stevenson has, I want to say in the past year with the whole, crybaby shit that he was on. And of course, the whole Ryan Garcia, Keyshawn Davis nonsense with them goddamn, shucking and jiving in front of that man. He dropped a few tears on my list. But he was still on my list nonetheless. I think he's such a talented, spectacular fighter. And I do want to see him progress. And I do want to see him evolve as a fighter. And I want to see if he can conquer the division alongside, the likes of Tank Davis in the ring. I want to see him fight Tank Davis. So if anything got in the way of that, child, if Tank is already goddamn complaining, oh, his dimples are not on the right side for me. If he would have had a dimple a little bit higher up on his cheek, maybe I would fight him. But I'm not fighting. Tank is just looking for any goddamn excuse to not fight this man. So imagine if anything out of the norm, if any type of anomaly or aberration would have happened, that would have been all Tank needed. Red Light Special Davis don't need no motherfucking excuse as it is. He don't need no reason to not fight him to say he's not going to fight him, goddammit. If this man lost, oh, child. So I was praying, not only because I support the young king Shakur Stevenson, but because, above all and ultimately, we need this fight to happen with goddamn Tank Davis. So excellent victory to Shakur Stevenson. I'm glad that he got it in a TKO. Wonderful, wonderful. And, onward and upward from here. Excellent work. And I'm glad that he showed that there's levels to this. He didn't do it, I guess, to people's liking, I guess. Oh, they say, oh, 9th round, that's way too long. But, he did it when he did it. You know what I'm saying? Shakur is not a headhunter. He doesn't go trying to get the knockout. If it comes, it comes. Let the king enjoy his victory. He did what he had to do. And not only did he do that, but he got him out of there. Okay? He got him out of there. He made that man submit to him. So give the man credit where the credit is due. Now, let's talk about Zhilei goddamn Zhang getting banged, y'all. What? How the hell? I thought Zhang is the one that do the banging. What happened? What happened? He got banged. What happened? Zhilei Zhang was on his damn knees last night, y'all. Pause. Now, this fight was definitely probably the most surprising for me, because I will be the first to tell you that I was not very familiar with Ajit Kabayel. Okay? I heard some rumblings about his name, but I can't say that I ever sat down and watched a complete fight of this man. I have not. So I was pleasantly put on notice by the king Ajit Kabayel. Okay, I know I'm late to the party because I'm sure a lot of people have known about him. Some of my real ones up in here, may have known about him, but child, I am late to the party, y'all. And I'm not afraid to say that. I was pleasantly surprised by Mr. Kabayel. Spectacular performance. Excellent showing of skill. The man's boxing IQ, generalship. Okay? And what it means to demolish a body. Talk about body work. Hold up. This seemed to be the night of body work. Everybody was going to the goddamn body tonight, last night, weren't they? It was a demolition job from card to card to matchup to matchup to matchup on this card. Body work was like the pivotal weapon of choice on this card. And I loved it. I loved this performance. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I hadn't previously really given too much credence to this man's body of work, but boy, was I pleasantly entertained. You know what? It seems to me like Kabayel also, he's been pretty silent when you consider his name next to that of the heavy hitters in the heavyweight division, right? He's not necessarily a name that I have heard, and I think that's probably why I didn't really give him the second look that I give him now, of course, after he earned my respect. But he's not a name necessarily that I hear to the degree of a Dubois or to the degree of a Joyce or even a Chisora. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really heard Kabayel's name. Maybe I haven't been in the correct circles enough to hear his name, but pleasant surprise To my knowledge, the only name that I know of on his resume is Derek Chisora. Speaking of Chisora, right? And he beat him back in 2017. So I have not really heard much of him like that. But boy, what a way to stand up and let me know that he's entered the room. Okay? I love that command of respect. You know what I'm saying? I love that he said, nah, you're going to put some respect on my name. If you didn't know, now you motherfucking know. Okay? And he showed up, you guys. This fight did not have a moment that I can recall from the first bell where Caballel was not going to work. The man was working. Talking about, okay, that man probably worked harder than Padley. Talking about 9 to 5. These men was all clocked into their 9 to 5s last night, baby. Talking about showing up. Caballel clocked the hell in. Okay? He sized Zhang up. He touched him up little by little as he saw fit from the first moment of that bell to the last moment of the fight. Zhang didn't have much of a reply. Okay? In the earlier rounds to me. In the first few rounds, let's say the first 2-3 rounds, I figured that he was taking in some intel at a particular point. I said, okay, well, maybe he's just trying to warm up to him when I saw that first and second round. But the more the rounds progressed, you know what I'm saying? Let's say when we get into that third round, somewhere around there, to me, it was clear where the dominant energy was coming from. Okay. I mean, it was apparent from the first round, but to me, it really began to be crystallized from that point onward. Caballel's investment to that body early is what I noticed instantly. I said, damn, this man coming in here cooking. He's coming to cook. Okay, what is this man doing here with all this goddamn body work? Wasted no time. He said, not on my watch, baby. We clocked in. We don't got time to waste. Time is money. All right? Now, another thing I noticed was Zhang's fatigue. His fatigue setting in so early in the fight, you guys. The man was breathing like he was climbing Mount Everest. And it was barely into the fourth round. I was like, okay, he's breathing mighty hard. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't expecting that. Those body shots were stealing, it seemed, every bit of wind that he had in him. Was it that? And was it also, coupled with the fact that he is, getting up there in age? I mean, I think he's like 41 or something like that. But I don't know. Maybe the signs of that particular age group that he is in now, also showed up to this particular type of fight. Interesting stuff, but it was certainly and without a doubt the body shots that was definitely adding, to his windedness. It was impossible not to see the apparent difference in levels of their boxing styles and their approaches to this fight, you guys. I mean, by the third or fourth round, I was like, okay, there's levels to this, and Caballel was certainly earning more and more of my respect as the minutes passed by in the round, y'all. Caballel was boxing beautifully, absolutely beautifully, while simultaneously applying effective pressure to Zhang from round to goddamn round. Then, suddenly, guess what, y'all? Zhang knocks Caballel down in the fifth round, I believe that was. I was like, okay, Zhang, this is the Zhang. This is the Zhang I was expecting to see. I was expecting to see him do his due, right? And I think that everybody assumed that he would close in, after smelling blood and finish the job. But Caballel said, not on my goddamn watch, sir. That man got back up, and within seconds, he looked like nothing ever happened, right? And he proceeded to put the Beats by Dre on Zhang, okay? He put the motherfucking Chronic on Zhang. You understand me? I was like, wow, the onslaught to the body continued. The footwork of Caballel, the elusiveness of Caballel, the generalship of Caballel prevailed. The man was doing the damn thing. By the time that sixth round came, Zhang was clearly suffering from the devastation caused by that unrelenting, punishing work that he was receiving. Unrelenting. You understand? And, I think it was this very round. Yeah, it was the sixth round where he just simply dropped to his knees after a while. And that was all she goddamn wrote. He was done. Absolutely done. Zhang got banged, y'all. That man dropped to his knees. The white flags of surrender were all over that man's face. That man said, no more. However you say that in goddamn Chinese, that's what the fuck he was saying in his head. Major congrats to Caballel for a spectacular showing of what? The balance, okay? The balance of dominance, intelligence, boxing, and pressure all at the same time. He showed what all of those things combined can do and how destructive they are when they are welded together by a true warrior. Beautiful work by Caballel. He put me on absolute notice, you guys. Absolute notice. Now I'm kind of like, damn, I'm late to the party. I should have been known about you. Super impressive. Super impressive. I can't wait to see who he fights next. Now, speaking of which, I don't know. Like, I saw people like talking about like, oh, well, he should fight Parker next and stuff, you know. Who did they say he should fight? I forget. Somebody said something. I don't think it was Parker. They said Caballel should fight somebody. But I think he's ready for the likes of a Parker. I think he's ready for that type of, competition. Get him in there with goddamn Dubois. You know what I'm saying? Why not? I would love to see something like that. Caballel really, really is a fantastic fighter. And for somebody of his size to be so, his IQ and, I love the way that he was moving. I love the generalship that he commanded. He don't just stand there and bang. He's very calculated with his punches. Beautiful work. Really beautiful work. Understated. I think that his name and his tool bag is very understated. Like I said, I don't see really many people talking. At least up until this point, I haven't heard really many people talking about Caballel's skill set. But beautiful, beautiful fighter. I can't wait to see what's up next for him. I think I saw some things on Twitter. People were aligning him with, I keep forgetting who they were saying that he should fight, but I think he should fight the likes of Joseph Parker. I think he should get a Dubois if that particular Parker and Dubois fight doesn't get rescheduled and reset or anything like that. Put Caballel in there. Beautiful fighter. I was pleasantly surprised by him. I always love, being taken aback, in a great way by fighters that I hadn't previously been familiar with. So excellent job from Caballel. 100%. What y'all think about that fight? Let me check with my peeps. The lovely King. Oh, hey, Uncommon. Nice to see you. Salute to the King MJ in the building. Oh, we got some people up in here. Yes, indeed. Beautiful family. The intelligent one says, I'm going back a little bit, you guys, further up into the comments. He says, I'm never getting into it with my electrician again. I don't know what the hell he may be doing on the side. Fighting on a turkey card. Facts. Okay, my cable guy, I ain't gonna curse his ass out no more. I'm not cursing the cable guy out no more. I ain't cursing the bus driver out no more. No goddamn mailman. Shit. We gotta be respectful. We gotta be respectful to the goddamn cable guy. Okay? Because that motherfucker may give us a goddamn body shot or a goddamn uppercut out of no goddamn where for talking slick with their asses. We got to be on the lookout, y'all. You better be nice. You better say good morning to that UPS man on your way to work. Shit. The King Darryl says, I thought he was going to roll on the ground like that shit did. I know. I was hoping that Shakur didn't do that, lovely King Darryl. I was like, child, you better bite down and get through this. You better bite down and get through this. Please, hand, don't mess up now. Don't mess up now, left hand. That was scary, you guys. I'm not even gonna cap. I was so nervous when I saw him flinching and squinting his face, looking as if he were in pain. Crazy work. The King Steven said, Tank is a punk. There you go. Nice and succinct and to the point as always, King Steven. Yes, indeed, he is. He absolutely is a punk. Bo Rice, nice to see you. He says, you keep calling him Red Light Special. That's his name. Red Light Special Davis. That is officially his name. That's the name that I gave him as of last week. And it's sticking because he's earned it and he continues to earn it, as we will get into it a little bit later. I will tell you how he continuously keeps himself earning that particular type of nickname, Red Light Special. Todd Swindle, salute to you, King. Nice to see you. He says, that boy beat Zhang's body like a heavy bag. Didn't he? Didn't he? Ciao. Caballel was doing He was chopping that damn tree down, child. Beautiful, phenomenal body work. I love to see body work. I really do. I think all of my top gunners, my top gunners, they focus on that body. They focus on that body, and he's slowly earning his way, on my list himself. I still want to see more from him, of course, because like I said, that's the first real full fight I've watched of him. He's still earning his way up, but yes, if he brings that body work, and that's something that he brings throughout his various fights moving forward and stuff like that. And I'll even go back and watch some older fights of his as well. But yeah, he's definitely earning slowly a place on my list. I was super impressed with him. The King of Kondo, nice to see. He says, must have left out cardio in camp. Yeah, you talking about Zhang? That man was breathing so heavy, King of Kondo. I was like, God damn, somebody passed this man a respirator. Shit. Damn. The King Ross says, DoorDash messed up my bag. Did he? Damn. Yeah, I knew. I've been seeing a few people on social media going with Majimov. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I went with Ortiz because I just know Ortiz is that man is a monster. I love the way he fights. Now, we got Jay the man in the building. Salute to you, King. Let's get on to this one now, y'all. Okay, let's get on to the next one. And I'm going to touch on this. I don't even think I need to waste much time on this because really ain't much to goddamn talk about. Real talk. Martin Bacoli versus Joseph goddamn Parker, y'all. Martin Bacoli, you guys. Bacoli versus Parker was not what I had in mind. All right. This is not what I was envisioning for this fight taking place. I was not anticipating anything that wound up commencing before our eyes. What the hell was that, y'all? That's really all I could ask. The day after, now that I'm sober and I'm looking back on this fight, what the hell was that, y'all? First off, let me say this. Let's start here. I came across a post-fight interview with Martin Bacoli, right? And in it, he kept it real, okay? He kept it 100. He kept it all the way 100 about, how he had been out of the gym, okay? How he had been out of the gym. And I thought it was a wonderful bit of context to put to this fight that we saw last night. And when you put it into context and into view, it makes sense, okay? So Bacoli pretty much said that he had been out of the gym for 4 months, all right? 4 months he'd been out of the gym. No activity, no serious activity in the gym, whatever, for the past 4 months, okay? He and his family have been in the Congo, all right? Because we know that's where he's from. So he, his wife, his children, they went to the Congo to spend some time. Then he came back briefly, to try to set up some training for his upcoming fight, but he hadn't begun any official training because he had just received the name of his next opponent, who he would be fighting next, and that person is slated, to be F.A. Ajagba, and that fight is supposed to be sometime in May, early May, okay? So he had no official training camp set up. He was planning to set those types of things up for F.A., okay? He was aiming to coordinate a trip to America to set up something like an 8 or 9 week training camp to prep for that fight in May. But no training had been done on his part whatsoever. Okay, maybe a little bit of a day here in the gym and then time off and then he'll go back, something like that. No actual training though. He had not begun training. So, the man arrived pretty much to Saudi Arabia at 2 or 3 in the morning on fight day. Okay, after taking an 8.5 or so hour journey from the Congo to catch a connecting flight in Addis Ababa to Saudi Arabia. Okay? something like 8 hours, not including the wait time. He tried to get a private plane. There was no private plane available for him in the Congo, so he had to get on the regular ass flight, child. Oh my God. Something like however many hours that was, 7, 8 hours, literally from the plane to the main stage, you guys. Nobody can tell me that Martin Bakoli's grind ain't serious. That man is another one we need to be thanking for saving, a major fight on this particular card, which was Joseph Parker. Okay. Dubois got sick, as we know, opted out, couldn't do it. In comes Bakole. Bakole answered the call and he came through. Despite, him being out of the ring and out of training for months, despite all of that, whatever have you, despite him having his mind on, starting, trying to prep some type of training camp, here in America for a fight that isn't happening until May. All of that. That man said, fuck that. Turkey called me. I'm on the way. So props to Martin Bakole for the grind. Also, another crazy thing that this man was dealing with upon, taking this fight. Did anybody else see that Martin Bakole was not wearing, he was wearing Daniel Dubois' gloves? Oh my God. It's like, damn. Talk about last minute. He didn't even have gloves for that man, of course, because everything was so last minute. So I guess nobody, in the day or so that they had to await his arrival in Saudi Arabia, nobody said, okay, well, let's get some other gloves to have him choose. That man had Daniel Dubois' gloves. Daniel's name was on the gloves and everything, y'all. And Martin Bakole is fighting in these gloves. If you guys see the photo of that circulating around social media, actually go check out an interview of him. If you guys check out one of the post-fight interviews that he did, he's holding the glove, that he bought in, and you can see DDD on it. It's crazy work, you guys. I mean, your boy made the ultimate move to save that particular Parker slot. Much, much credit to him. Now on to the fight. Nothing much to say here, y'all. Parker got the goddamn second round knockout. And I was absolutely floored when I saw it. In fact, I did not understand what I was viewing. I didn't know what the hell I was watching when I saw that man do the goddamn stanky leg. I said, uh-oh, hold up now. What the hell's happening? Yeah, this motherfucker's tumbling like the goddamn London Bridge. What's going on here, y'all? I was like, hold up. Did he just get hit? But what was weird was that, when they showed the replay and the slow-mo, he didn't get hit. He didn't get hit. The hit went like above his head. He said he got hit on the top of the head. So I guess it grazed him, but I didn't even see the manner in which he was even grazed in the replay or the slow-mo. I didn't see him get grazed. I mean, I saw Parker's hand go over his head, but I did not see contact with his head and Parker's hand. It was very strange, you guys. He says it grazed him. I don't know what to think. But that man did the goddamn James Brown leg. Okay. That man did the funky chicken and he tumbled down to the floor and the ref waved the shit off. I heard some people say that the ref called it off too suddenly. They should have gave him, a full 10 count. But I don't know. The judge must have seen a crazy look in his eye, something like that. So he just waved it off. But I heard some people say, listen, they should have just, give him a real 10 count, which I agree. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't make the 10 count, then you can wave it off. I understand that, but it is what it is. I don't know. Very, very interesting fight. It's the heavyweight, division. Anything can happen in boxing, as we know. So Lord knows what was up with that. But I was certainly expecting, I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. I was expecting some tussling. I was expecting some tussling, some bustling, some battering, some goddamn exchanging. That's what I was expecting. I said, oh my goodness, Martin Bakole's on the card. I think everybody was hyped like, oh shit, the boogeyman, the big man is coming to replace him. And it was stated that that Parker requested him. Let's go, Parker. So it's like, exciting stuff. It probably was even more exciting to the imagination than the Dubois fight, real talk, to hear that Martin Bakole was going to be the replacement. I was definitely enthralled hearing that. And I know many, many people were as well. Interesting stuff, right? How exciting would that have been to see them at their full potential in that fight? But unfortunately, like I said, they were not going to be at their full potential, considering the fact that Martin Bakole had no training whatsoever. Of course, he came in something like 315 pounds because he was not training. I think in his fight with Jared Anderson, he was something like 286. So he was significantly heavier, of course, out of training than he would be having gone through a proper training camp and stuff like that. So actually, it makes me wonder, like, damn, I'd love to see them actually fight like in a rematch, like where they've both prepared. Because you think about it, right? Parker had something like 4 months of prep, even though he wasn't necessarily prepping or training for Bakole. He was training. He had a full-fledged, full-on proper training camp, okay? Where he was preparing for Dubois, who we already know is a monster. So he was in serious shape getting ready for Dubois. So he stepped into Bakole fully ready, fully prepared with a full arsenal. Bakole is essentially stepping into that ring with nothing but memory, body memory. And, obviously the experience or whatever, but he had no training, no sharpening of his tools whatsoever. 4 months is a long time to be out of the ring. So, to be out of training for any particular type of fight, especially considering you're going into, a high level 12 round match with Joseph Parker, who has probably been the most active fighter or one of the most active fighters in all of boxing for the past, year and a half or so. That man has been nonstop with his fights. So interesting dynamic. I would love to see them run it back at a particular time somewhere down the line if that's possible, because that's an interesting matchup. But either way, congrats to Parker. He did the damn thing. He got his victory. But I cannot wait to see Martin Bakole return to the ring back in May, when I know that he's fully prepped. I know that he's fully trained and ready and focused for his particular matchup. That's where you get to see the best of him, of course, when he is fully prepped, just like any other fighter should be. So interesting stuff with him to come supposedly in May with he and F.A. Ajagba. But crazy fight, y'all. And y'all already know the dream that I goddamn had last week. I guess my dream was correct, right? Where's Daryl at? Because I got to talk to Daryl. Daryl told me that if my prediction was correct, that we need to chop it up somehow to figure out how we're going to get some premonitions for the lottery. I think I was correct, Daryl. Even though my dream showed that Martin Bakole was fighting Red Light Special Davis for whatever goddamn reason. Of course, that was not a reality, right? But Martin Bakole was in the dream and there was a knockout. Right, Daryl? Where's Daryl at? Daryl, I need you to talk to me. Talk to me nice, Daryl. Okay? Did I not dream that? Martin Bakole was in my dream and a knockout was in my dream? I think I was correct, sir. Okay? So, hey, listen. Call me motherfucking Miss Cleo out this bitch. Like I said, my dreams be wild as hell, but they bring some truth with them in somehow and in some way, you guys. But anyway, moving on to the next. I wanted to touch on this really briefly if I could, because I thought it was quite interesting. Actually, let's talk about how could I forget the main card, you guys? Let's talk about Bivol and Beterbiev. Let's talk about Bivol and Beterbiev before I get to that. Let me first say this. Let me take a sip of my water, y'all. Hold on, because I got some shit to say. All right. Dmitry Bivol is one of the most special fighters that we have of this era. I will say that. And I had not previously said those words before, you guys, but I'm saying it now because I think that is true. Special fighter. It was absolutely beautiful work that we saw displayed. Was it perfect in the sense that, he won every round and it was not moments of, edge of your seat anticipation and even, fear about, oh, is he going to pull through? It wasn't perfect in the sense that he bypassed challenges. It was perfect because he overcame the challenges that were in front of him. He overcame the challenges that were in front of him. That was the perfection to me. That was the ability to show the heart, to show the fire and the level of warriorship and dedication that I like to see and that is required of you to display in battle. Beautiful display from Dmitry Bivol, you guys. I'm not even gonna cap. There were moments in that fight where Beterbiev was absolutely getting the best of him. And I was like, damn, if he keeps this up, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if his body is going to be able to hold up, because Beterbiev, as we know, comes with an onslaught that is just nothing but pressure, nothing but devastation. Okay, he's a heavy hitter. He charges forward and he is unrelenting. Bivol was boxing beautifully, I could say, throughout. But that pressure from Beterbiev was sustaining for a little bit too long in particular rounds, in those middle rounds. And I was like, oh shit, Bivol gotta, you know what I'm saying? He gotta get out of this. I don't want him to go in these particular type of swamps and get lost. But he prevailed, and I was so thoroughly impressed, you guys. I scored the fight 8-4, but I know a lot of people, some people had 9-3. Some people had, some people edged it to Beterbiev. I think Bivol is absolutely special, and I didn't pick a winner for this particular fight, because I simply did not know what to expect. In all honesty, I know the obvious choice was to go with Beterbiev because he got the decision in the first fight, even though that was kind of controversial because a lot of people in that first particular fight had Bivol winning. So it was a little bit of a 50-50 coming off of that first fight. But I chose not to give a pick because I just wanted to be impressed. I just wanted to see who would prevail. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really put any eggs in the basket. I was waiting to be shown what it was instead of trying to deem what it was. I just wanted to be a complete spectator for this fight. And I was pleasantly surprised with the outcome. Because sometimes for me, sometimes I can go in like, oh, I want this person to win. Sometimes I take a back seat to it because I really just want to be shown who you are. I don't want to go in there with an imagination. I want you to tell me. Sometimes I get like that with particular fighters, and this was one of those ones for me. Undisputed is a very big deal, and I think that especially having a second fight, having to prove that level of cloth and credence, being deserved to be given to you, or for you to show that you are worthy of carrying it and taking it, is something else. And I think Bivol definitely rose to the occasion. The pressure from Beterbiev was definitely there. But Bivol, I don't know. He started looking like a master to me. Like once he got out of those deep waters, and he started boxing a little bit better and he wasn't taking as much punishment, I think that, I don't know what turned on in that man. He started looking like a master to me. Like he started looking like a fighter of old to me. I don't know how quite to explain it. I'm trying to gather the words for y'all, but I don't know. He started looking like a master. Y'all remember in The Last Dragon when the glow started coming on Leroy? You know what I'm saying? He started looking like that to me. In those latter rounds, it's like he couldn't do any wrong at a particular point in the latter half of the fight. I'm just like, yes, Bivol, stick to that boxing. You know what I'm saying? Even in the onslaught, he refused to not throw punches. He said, oh no, I got a response for you every single time. Yeah, I know this onslaught is heavy. I know you coming at me heavy, but baby, I'm going to always answer you with something. You're never going to get a quiet moment out of me. He let them hands go. despite it all. And I think it's because of that consistency and because of that will to demand respect from Bivol is what ultimately got him out of those deep waters in those few rounds where he found himself, taking a little bit more punishment than I would have liked to have seen. Excellent work by Bivol, you guys. I think it was clear that he won the fight. Am I interested in seeing a trilogy? I can't say no. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, he got one, Bivol got one. Okay, great. It makes sense, right? But honestly, I think at this particular time, I'd like to see Bivol versus Benavidez. I really would. I really, really would. I would like to see him against Benavidez. I think that is the fight to make next. Maybe him and Bivol could fight after that. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Rematches don't always happen, after in a consecutive, fashion. You know what I'm saying? Back to back to back. Maybe it's something that could happen later on down the line. Who knows? But at the same time, I know Beterbiev is kind of up there and stuff like that. And he was saying that he didn't even want the rematch to happen. So I don't know what type of timeline Beterbiev is on. I don't know if he's trying to peace out in the next year or so. He hasn't said that, of course, but you never know what could happen. So with, I don't know as far as his timeline and whatever. And he did say that Bivol did mention that in the post presser that he had a moment to speak to Beterbiev, and initially he was saying, okay, yeah, congratulations, you're the better man. And then he said, listen, I got to get my get back pretty much in the trilogy. So maybe he has it on his mind to actually go through with the trilogy, even though initially he seemed a little bit reluctant about it when he was in the ring. Who knows what could happen? But all that being said, I want to see Bivol versus Benavidez. Benavidez was in the building. Okay, he was watching ringside. He was there. He, of course, made it known that he wanted the winner of that particular fight. So I know he's about it. So I can't wait to see that fight. Set that particular fight up. Bivol didn't really make any preferences in his post presser. He said, listen, I'm down for any challenge. He basically just said that at this particular moment, he wanted to rest up and heal because he had some injuries, of course, that he was dealing with leading up to that particular fight, which makes sense. For these fighters, they go through all types of things in training camp and stuff like that. So he said he wanted to heal himself, take his time to rest and relax, and then come back for whatever challenges presented to him, which is fabulous work. But if I had my way, I think I would want to see the Benavidez fight. What a phenomenal fight that will be, you guys. What? I'm trying to see it in my head now, and damn, you guys. Bivol versus Benavidez, the goddamn Mexican monster. Oh my goodness, what a fabulous fight that's going to be, you guys. Oh, I can see it now in my head, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about that fight. What y'all think about Beterbiev and Bivol Part 2? Did it live up to your expectations? How many of you had Bivol? How many of you had Benavidez? I would love to know. I would love to know. I don't think we spoke about predictions last week, did we? I don't recall if we touched on that, but who did you guys have? Bivol or Beterbiev going into the fight? And who were you impressed? Were you impressed with the fight that you saw from Bivol? Do you guys think that Beterbiev should have got it? How y'all feeling about that fight? The lovely King Darrow says, I think if they fought 1,000 times, it would be 500 apiece, 50-50 fights for sure. Facts. Absolute facts. The King Stephen says, I scored it a draw, but knew the judges would give it to Bivol for the trilogy. Interesting. Interesting, King Stephen. The Great Mike says, I had Bivol 7-5. Yeah, I got you. I had Bivol 8-4. The lovely King Darrow says, I can see 7-5 or 8-4 for Bivol. I wouldn't have been mad at a draw. Okay, so you thought, you thought it could have been also a draw. The Coach Hudson, nice to see you. If I didn't salute you, I don't think I saw you a little earlier. King, nice to see you. He says, I think Bivol stops him in the trilogy. Gee, you think so? How crazy would that be if Bivol stops Beterbiev? Wow. Interesting stuff. Daryl said Leroy. What? Bruce Leroy. He done got the glow, Daryl. He had the glow of Bruce Leroy on him. Something about Bivol was just, I was like, when you got that glow, you feel the thumb when you got that glow. What? I love that movie, by the way. I need to watch that again. That's a classic. The King of Kondo says, that's a best fight of the year. Benavidez and Bivol, if there's no trilogy. Ain't it? That is the best fight of the year. If we thought David Morrell and Mexican Monster was something, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I think that would be of the same cloth, my friend. Absolutely. Spectacular fight. Exciting fight. Nothing but fireworks. I could see it now. The Intelligent One says, yes, let's see that fight up soon. Facts, King. Great Mike says, I wouldn't mind the trilogy or the Benavidez fight. I feel you, King. I feel you. And I guess I'm up for it as well. I take kind of like Bivol's stance with it. Like, listen, let me rest up, and whoever you got for me upon my return, let's get it popping. Facts. Oh, Daryl, you picked Beterbiev by KO? Yeah. I heard a lot of that same type of prediction going around. People had him for a KO because they figured, his body would be healed up. He was not going to be as dealing with the injury, at least not as severely as he was in that first fight. Having that fresh injury, people assumed that he would be more healed up, and he probably was. He probably was healed up. I didn't hear him mentioning anything about the injury or anything like that. So, yeah, it's natural to assume that he would have been in tip-top shape and therefore capable of getting that KO, over Bivol. But that certainly didn't happen. The Coach Hudson says, if Bivol beats David and Arthur again, he's going down as one of the best light heavyweights in the last 30 to 40 years. I could not agree more, Coach Hudson. Bivol showed a level of, I think right now, real talk, Bivol is my number one pound for pound. I'm going to say that confidently. I'm going to put my stamp on it. Bivol is my number one, because you know why? You know why I have him above Bud? Because not only, of course, did he get undisputed or whatever, but he rematched the man. He rematched the man that he lost undisputed to. Unlike goddamn Bud, who refused to rematch Earl, his biggest competition. You feel me? Beterbiev is Bivol's biggest competition, even bigger than Canelo. Bivol beat the shit out of goddamn Canelo and made it look easy. That man went and had coffee afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Not with Beterbiev. Beterbiev made Bivol work. Bivol had to work both times. He came up short, according to the judges the first time. But this time, you know what I'm saying, he had to work to get that goddamn W over him. You understand? That's something that Bud did not do. Bud did not rematch Earl Spence. He didn't do it. He did not do it. His biggest competition. So Bivol is number one. Bivol's number one on my pound for pound list right now. Bud is number two. Bud is number two. Absolutely. I stand on my goddamn word with that. Let's see what the people are talking about. The beautiful Queen Shawa says, David and Dimitri are longtime sparring partners. So it's likely... Oh, you're talking to Daryl. My bad, sis. I'm holding y'all carvo. Who is this? Oh, Young Tay. Salute to you. He says, Shakur made me proud. Amazing performance. Thank you. Thank you. I said exactly the same thing. He made me proud as well. I'm so glad that he pulled through the way that he did. I'm so glad. Despite the hand, despite all of the pressure, despite the last minute changes, everything that was thrown at him, he rose to the occasion. And I am glad. I'm definitely glad that he did. The King Uncommon says, it's weird because I think the series is indeed tied 1-1, but the decisions were wrong. I think Bivol won the first fight and Beterbiev won the second fight. Gotta love boxing. Interesting. Facts. Now, I wanted to touch on this really, really quickly, you guys. Really, really quickly. Bud did some shit that I came across on social media that I was like, excuse me, sir. When did this become the proper thing to do? And who gave you the permission to do this? Did y'all see that Bud made T.O. admit that he basically did it for the gram? Did the racist talk for the gram? Bud ran into T.O. at the fight. Of course, they were both ringside at, the card last night, right? There's a clip that I came across on Twitter where Bud, makes T.O. pretty much admit that he was doing all of the monkey talk nonsense and all of that buffoon, watermelon nonsense. He basically made him admit that he did it for the gram, right? So if y'all didn't see the clip, Bud basically says, tell them what you told me, right? And he's recording this on his phone. And T.O. tries to play it off like, oh, well, what you mean, tell them what you told me, right? And then Bud's like, tell them what you told me. Bud says, oh, I'm sorry. T.O. says, oh, I did it for the promotion. I did all that for promotion. T.O. tries to play it off like, oh, I just did it for promotion, playfully, right? And Bud replies to this, so I don't gotta fuck him up, y'all. So I ain't gotta fuck him up. And T.O. says, well, we could spar. I'd still love to spar with you, though. And then they basically dap it up like, we could spar or whatever. What a cop-out was that, you guys? What a cop-out. What you mean you did it for promotion? And who the hell is Bud to let this motherfucker get off the goddamn hook after all of the nonsense that he's been pulling? He got punked. You know what I'm saying? Bud basically sunned him, put his arm around him and deboed him for his chain, basically snatched his chain and said, tell him why you did it and tell him what you told me. Because behind the scenes, they had the conversation. And of course, T.O. was copping a goddamn plea to Bud. And then Bud proceeded to put all of this on camera and demand that T.O. tell him what he told him, which was, oh, I just did it for the gram, basically. So I get the notion of, okay, well, he sunned him. But my thing is, why is he off the goddamn hook? That doesn't take away the fact that that man was saying what he was saying. Laughing and geeking all about it. I don't play with stuff like that. You don't talk about my goddamn people and I'm going to smile up in your face and you goddamn get a pass because you did it for promo. That's even worse. That's even worse because you pump faking. Now you out here saying you pump faking? Don't try to back out now, nigga. You said it. You can't talk like that around me. You can't let me hear you say stuff like that. I don't give passes. Not me. So, of course, I was livid when I saw Bud do it. Oh, I don't got to beat him up now, y'all. He good. It's like, not that I was expecting Bud to, go upside this man's head or anything like that. But you ain't going to at least check him? You ain't going to at least check him? And say, listen, there are 1,000 ways you can promote that have nothing to do with you trying to disgrace my people. I don't know. I just don't play with stuff like that. Call me old fashioned. Call me too hard, too stubborn, whatever the fuck. I don't play with stuff like that. I don't play, softly when it comes to things like that. You better watch your goddamn mouth. And if I hear you say some shit like that again, we stepping. I just don't like that. I didn't like that Bud did that. Oh, I don't gotta, come at him hard now. He just did it for the promo, y'all. As if that's okay. Because he did it for promotion, he's liable to say all the racially charged, ignorant motherfucking things that he's been saying constantly. It's not like he said it one time. It was like, oop, I tried my hand at this. It didn't work. Okay, let me tap out. No, this man is constantly saying some crazy derogatory, racially charged and racially motivated nonsense about black men particularly. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I felt like he should have checked him a little bit harder. Or, you know what I'm saying? Don't do the friendly shit. Ain't no goddamn dapping up. You better watch your mouth. I didn't like that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I did not like it at all. What you guys think about that? Did y'all come across that clip? Did y'all think that he sunned him? Did you guys think that that was the proper way for him to go about it? Not that any violence or anything like that was required, like I said, but do you think that he got checked? Do you think that T.O. will continue to go on his rants? Do you think that he will think it's okay now because he got the pass simply because, oh, it's for promotion, so I can say things like this? When are things like that off limits when it comes to us? Would he get a pass for saying some stuff like that about the Jewish community? Do you think that he would be given a pass in that instance? Or do you think no? He'd be immediately reprimanded and made to stop and checked for his remarks. Do you think he'd have to be cognizant about the things that he says? I think so. Had it been any other particular group. Why is he getting a pass with us? I don't give a fuck if it was for promotion. Watch your goddamn mouth. Because all of his tirades are always centered around black people. Because let's not forget, it's with black elite men that he wants to fight. So he wants to get his money off of these men. But he only feels that he'll get credence and acceptance by calling them out their name, using racially charged, disgusting, references and perspectives. I don't like stuff like that. I really don't. Let me see what my people talk about. The King Snoopy says, Bud should have made him apologize to the people. Exactly. Absolutely facts. You get him on a camera, you say, yo, make sure you tell my people who are watching that you did it for promotion and that you will not be going about promoting anything that you are doing off of the back of their degradation and embarrassment, historical castigation. There has to be a limit some goddamn where, y'all. It's crazy. You get to literally shit on my people so you can promote some garbage ass fight in your garbage ass non-existent ass brand? And I'm going to co-sign that shit? He's bugging. I just didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all. Facts, King Hudson, he says, disrespect my whole race for promo. Right. What's good here? What is good here? Exactly, Queen Shawa. We are always ready to quickly forgive devilish deeds, devilish language towards our people. He doesn't get to say this stuff just because he's promoting something or he thinks he's promoting something. Because at the end of the day, who's going to be the laughing stock? Not him. He's going to be laughing his way to the bank. And we're going to be looking stupid when a slew of other fighters think that it's going to be okay to shit on our people, shit on our culture, shit on our history and our turbulence in this country for $1. It's only us that is going to be last in line off of that type of nonsense when other people join the bandwagon, as they already do, but even further and beyond what's already happening now. Promotion or no promotion, it has no place. Because when can Bud Crawford get on stage and publicly castigate any other cultural or racial group for his promotion and be held up and given a pass? Let him say something, quote unquote, considered anti-Semitic. Let him get up there and say something that is conceived of as anti-Semitic. He gonna be given a pass? Or is he gonna be made to publicly apologize? No matter to what degree his comment was stated. It will not be tolerated on any other end, is what I am saying. I don't like stuff like that, y'all. The lovely King Darrow says, TL should have been slapped again. Facts. Facts. Absolutely crazy work, y'all. The King Stephen says, T.O. will offend again. Bud should not have given him a pass. 1000%. Bo Rice says, he sent him to buy some, what? He sent him to buy some roll upstairs. He should have pressed him more, but he just wanted to show us that he's not going to say it face to face. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But the problem is that he is saying it publicly nonetheless. So whether he is saying it to Bud Crawford's face or not, he is saying it. And the sentiment goes beyond Bud Crawford. He is not simply talking to Bud Crawford. He is mocking black culture and black people and black history. That's what he is mocking as a whole. It's not simply directed simply to Bud Crawford. The things and the gestures that he's making is disrespectful to black people, black culture. That's what I do not like. It's not like he has a personal beef with Bud. He's saying, yeah, Bud, you and your braids, get out of here. Personalized. No. He is sitting in front of a camera eating watermelon and bananas, or whatever the case is. Or he is calling, this particular person a monkey, knowing that it's attributed to a culture of people who have historically been, associated with these types of stereotypes. Very problematic. In any other culture, it would be considered anti that culture. Except with black people, passes are being given out. I just find that to be absolutely unacceptable. Even though I get the gesture, how it could look like he sunned Tio, it was not enough. He did not make him apologize to the people, and he did not say, listen, watch your mouth when it comes to my people with that fucking joke shit. We don't play with that. You know what I'm saying? Check him in some type of way. You got your arm around him, dapping him up and telling this nigga, oh, okay, well, it's okay because you doing it for promo. As long as you're doing it for promo. You shouldn't be fucking doing it, period. Salute to Glenn Mickens in the super chat. I really appreciate you. He gave me a 10-piece 2 times, a total of 20 pieces. I appreciate you, King Glenn. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining tonight. Okay? Y'all feel me on that? I don't think I'm overreacting, y'all. Y'all know I don't play about black culture, black history, black representation, and the respect of our people. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. He should have been checked a little bit further, in my view. Now, lastly, Shakur Stevenson, you guys, has officially, I say officially because this is where I find it to be certified. Shakur Stevenson has officially called out Red Light Special Davis, y'all. Did y'all see that? Quote, I want Javante Tank Davis next. That is a direct quote from Shakur Stevenson upon receiving his wonderful victory last evening, okay? That's what he said. That's what he ceremoniously announced to the world after his victory. He said also, quote, I'm the best in the world. Come prove me wrong. That is what Core said. And he said that in a post-fight interview as he pointed directly to the camera, looked into that camera, and said those words. Come prove me wrong, is what he told Tank Davis. I am loving that demon time, you guys. Yes, Shakur, finally. Thank you for putting on your grown man goddamn pants on. No more beating around the bush. No more maybes or bypassing the naming of names. I want the goddamn demon time. All right? We're not here to play games. The battle is due. Shakur Stevenson finally looks like he's had it up to here with the excuses. And I'm glad that he has reached this point, you guys, because for the past few years, as we real ones know, the energy at 135 between he and Tank Davis has been virtually non-existent to the capacity, to the degree that we wanted it to be. Virtually non-existent, tepid, unenthusiastic, half-hearted attempts to convince the boxing world here and there that they were, sort of eyeing each other, but never quite following through beyond, something like a Twitter beef or something like that. Typing on their keyboards, never really going beyond that point. It's been sickening for us to watch all of these things happen over the years between these two men, just, walking on eggshells over each other. Now, it seems finally the time has come closer than it's ever been to actually see these men in the ring now that Shakur Stevenson is unabashedly, unapologetically saying, I want him, and not only do I want him next. Next is what he said. Okay? Very important emphasis on next. At least the demon time is surging on the part of Shakur Stevenson. Now, as far as Red Light Special Davis, That's another goddamn story. So at least we got one half of the puzzle, charged up and on red. Red Light Special Davis, I don't know what the fuck he's on right now. But as we recall, in recent interviews, he's still crying about, they got to prove themselves to me, baby. Okay? He's saying he want to be spoken to the right way, as we spoke about last week. You got to talk to him softly. You got to have the roses on deck. You got to have the champagne in hand. Okay, you got to step to him with some type of game. You got to come to him correctly, because Red Light Special Davis says, excuse me, no, boo-boo. You got to talk to me right. You got to talk to me nicely. So who knows what means of evasion, Red Light Special Davis is going to be on. I don't know what road he's going to take to duck this call out. Okay. Of course, he has his fight coming up next Saturday. What is going to happen now? After he fights next Saturday, March 1st, what's the excuse going to be then? Now that Shakur Stevenson has called him out officially? What's going to happen after March 1st? Let's say on March 2nd, right? After the fight is all said and done with Lamont Roach. What is Red Light Special Davis's excuse going to be to not fight Shakur Stevenson next? Huh? What y'all think the excuse is going to be? What is he going to be saying now? Because Core made it absolutely clear. Pulled no punches. He didn't talk around the subject. He said, I want him next. Come prove me wrong. I'm the best in the world. Prove me the fuck wrong. He's telling you. That's a challenge, a direct challenge. Come prove me wrong. You don't think I'm about that? Come show me. No more talking. You know what I'm saying? Excellent, excellent, excellent to see from Shakur Stevenson. Now, speaking of sassy Red Light Special Davis, okay, of course, in true petty sassy fashion, after Shakur's TKO win, Red Light Special Davis does what? He runs to Twitter, his favorite thing to do these days, and as quickly as he could, he ran to his goddamn computer, pinkies in the air and all. Okay, he probably had his straight perm all up in a high bun, running to type something vicious and something mean. Okay? He said, LOL. That's what Tank tweeted, y'all. LOL. That's it. That was the tweet, y'all. Okay? I saw that and I'm like, LOL. What is he LOLing about? He's LOLing about Josh Padley? The victory over Josh Padley? Excuse me. Josh Padley was certainly by no means a star in boxing. Okay, I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? But he was an undefeated fighter, Josh Padley. Shakur Stevenson gave Mr. Josh 9-5 Padley his first loss. The first loss of his career came last evening. So what are you LOLing about, Mr. Red Light Special Davis? And Josh Padley is actually a 135 pounder, unlike the person Red Light Special Davis will be fighting next Saturday. He's actually a 135 pounder. He's not a 130 pounder. He's actually somebody in the division. So let's not get it twisted now to be LOLing. All right? Lamont has for the past damn near 10 years been fighting at 130. So how about you LOL to the fact that that's who you are fighting? Somebody who is not in your division, yet another smaller man you are pulling up to face in the ring. LOL? How about you LOL that? All right? How about you LOL how you'd rather go on Twitter to approach Shakur Stevenson than to call him out and send him an actual goddamn offer to fight? That is LOL, Red Light Special Davis. What is this man on? He is so petty. Don't LOL. Send Shakur a damn offer. Send him an offer. Until you send him an offer, I am the one motherfucking LOLing at you. At you. Send that man a goddamn offer and let's get this popping once and for all. No more, sassy tweeting. No more running, you got this and and all this tit for tat children stuff. It's nonsense. Okay? Another interesting thing that Tank tweeted, of course, that I came across was, he said, quote, "I need you to believe in me." That's what Tank tweeted later on. "I need you to believe in me." And I guess this is him here now, trying to hypnotize his fanboys, you know what I'm saying, to say, hey, listen, y'all, remember to buy that pay-per-view next Saturday. I know this fight ain't worth shit. I know ain't nobody been talking about this fight, but y'all got to believe in me now, you hear? You know what I'm saying? And I bet he does, because he absolutely does need that belief. I mean, how else is he going to be able to retire by next year if you don't believe in him after all? You're damn right he needs you to believe in him. He needs you to believe the folly so that you can keep lining up to pay the $80 goddamn pay-per-views for the other worthless fights that he probably has in his mind to line up after Lamont Roach next Saturday. I don't want to hear no goddamn excuses. Send Shakur Stevenson an offer and let's get this motherfucking show on the road. Because what can possibly be the excuse after next Saturday? Shakur just had his fight. You just had your fight. What's the excuse for you guys to keep evading each other? There are no excuses. Okay? I don't want to hear it. So it's going to be very, very interesting. And do you guys recall that Tank Davis says, oh, after my fight, I'm going to make an announcement or a call out. Is he going to make the call out of Shakur Stevenson finally? Are we going to get an announcement that he's ready to get it on? I don't know, you guys, because like I said, from his recent interviews, he's still waving the banner of, oh, you guys have to prove yourselves to me. You got to show me that you're worthy to fight with me. Absolutely insane. So we all await to see what's going to happen now that Shakur Stevenson has his victory. We all await to see what's going to be the story come March 1st, next Saturday, after Tank Davis's fight. Now, also speaking of Twitter, you guys, really quickly, did you guys see the back and forth between Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson? All right. They happened to get into a little internet hustle and tussle on Twitter, Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson. Now, for whatever reason, Cord decided to call Frank Martin ass, basically. He says he's ass. This is what Shakur Stevenson is saying of Frank Martin. And he's saying that in response to somebody's tweet. And Frank sees this particular comment made about him. And he comes to put all that smoke out, right? So he replied to that tweet, "Quit doing all that talking and put some shit on the flow." That's a direct quote from Frank Martin, right? He put the big boy words on, like, yo, no more talking. Put some shit on the flow. Core then responds to that and says, quote, "Says the guy who said yes, then pulled out of the fight. You can't fuck with me, nigga. You niggas all easy work." That's Shakur Stevenson's response. And Frank goes on to say, quote, "Nigga, I never signed no paperwork. No nothing. Kill that shit. Just get your motherfucking hand right, my boy." Okay, that's Frank. And Shakur claps back and says, "LOL, Frankie, you and I both know that my managers opt with your peoples. Y'all agree to that shit. Just say just say the M wasn't enough for you to get that ass whooping." Basically, tell him that $1 million wasn't enough for you to take the ass whooping that I was going to give you, basically, right? This is the back and forth that they are having, kind of conjuring up and living off of that old beef that they had last year and the supposed and alleged ducking that Frank Martin did of Shakur Stevenson. I mean, I get all of that, but my thing is, don't do no talking. You know what I'm saying? Show him that you about it. If you're not going to go up to 140, Shakur Stevenson, first of all, you shouldn't even be looking over there in that direction at Frank Martin. Frank Martin is a 140-pound fighter right now. He is not at 135 anymore. All right? I get the competitive spirit, but clean your plate where you're at. You have no intentions on going to 140 right now, you said. You said you're going to, pretty much stay the entirety of your career at 135. Keep your eyes on a goddamn prize. Like the Twitter back and forth with somebody who you have no intention of going up to see tomorrow is pretty much a waste of goddamn time. Tank is on the menu. Clean your plate with Tank Davis. Focus your energy on Tank Davis for now. When you cook him, maybe you can go see about Frank if you're serious about, this particular fight. Then you can go handle that. But until then, bruh, you're a 135 pounder. Dethrone the 135 pound king. And we'll see what happens from there. But I thought that was very, very, very interesting that out of nowhere, that kind of heat generated between them again, based on their past discord with each other. Did you guys come across that? What did y'all see about that? What did y'all think about that upon seeing that? All right. Interesting stuff. Oh, now, hold up. Did y'all hear the controversy that's going around about Turki Al-Sheikh cheating or something like that? Footage surfaced of Turki going to the corner of Hamza Shiraz during the fight with Adames yesterday, you guys. There's some footage going around showing him telling Shiraz that he's down on the scorecards. Did y'all come across that? And it's causing some buzz across Twitter right now, y'all. People are saying that this was an illegal move on the part of Turki, telling Shiraz the scorecards. But then I heard some varying views saying, listen, he wasn't reading him the scorecards. What he was doing was telling him like, yo, you're down. Like basically on some Mayweather shit when he was telling Gervonta, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you're down on the cards. You know what I'm saying? Or what happened to Bud when he was fighting Sean Porter and his people were telling him you down on the cards. And then I guess that was trying to like give him an oomph to like up the ante and step on the gas against Adames. But people are taking it like he was actually reading him the scorecards, which should not be done. I don't know. I didn't really look too deeply into that, but I thought it was interesting to note here because it's like, what's going on? I know it's like, all the rage right now on Twitter. For those of you who are on Twitter, you may have come across that earlier today, but people are trying to posit that, Turki was trying to do some cheating for Hamza. Okay, because we know that that's his guy. And as somebody stated earlier, the little bit of favoritism towards his fighters, people tend to think that Turki has. So that little bit that's going around on the Twitter was interesting to me. I was like, Turki out here trying to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I didn't know if he was trying to give him a pep talk, like trying to give him some inspiration to actually fight back with Adames, who was completely kicking his ass. Or if he was trying to, I don't know. I can't say that he was trying to read the cards to him, but who knows what that's going on. But that seems to be causing a bit of drama in people's ears right now. Other than that, you guys, what a crazy night. What a crazy turn of events. What beautiful showcases of boxing we got in this fight card. All types of drama, all types of, sassiness, all types of shade, all types of warriorship, everything that you can imagine that is drama packed is what we got from this card. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening of boxing. I was totally pleased with the card overall. Walked away very, very happy. Like I said, Adames is probably really the only huge upset and disappointment for me of that particular night. Hopefully they run it back. I'm not sure if they will, but hopefully we get some intel as to what Adames and Hamza are going to do moving forward. But other than that, I could say I was really, really pleased and satisfied with the fight card overall. Spectacular fight, crazy outcomes with the Martin Bakole, unexpected turn of events. Some nail biting moments with the Shakur hand in the middle of the fight. Child, I didn't know what to think about any of that, but in the end, totally satisfied with what I got. Beautiful night of boxing, and it really does leave me on my toes for what else is to come. I can't say that. I think on next week's card for Tank Davis, he's going to have, I believe it's Rayo and Gary Antoine on that undercard. That's the only fight that I know of on the undercard of Tank Davis. Do y'all know anybody else who's going to be on that fight card for Tank next Saturday? I only know of one. That's Rayo and Antoine Russell. I don't know any other names on that undercard, you guys. Virtually nobody's still been talking about it, and we're a week away. When have we ever heard this of a Tank card, you guys? Absolutely unprecedented for a Tank fight that nobody is talking about it. Nobody has been talking about it. No buzz generated around this card whatsoever. Is anybody in here anticipating the Tank Davis fight next Saturday? I think everybody in here is anticipating that he will win. You know what I'm saying? That's probably why it's so lackluster, because we know what we expect him to go in there and do, and we can foresee what he's going to go in there and do. Like we said, some time ago, you guys, if the unthinkable happens, ciao, that will be the day we see a blue moon. If Lamont Roach went in there and did a damn demolition job and did something like knock Tank out, ciao, oh my God, the world would be turned upside down. But as we are expecting, as I believe will happen, Tank Davis will get the job done. And in spectacular fashion. That's what I'm anticipating, at least. But we will see. We will see. I don't know what to expect of that fight card, so I can't really get geared up for it. Not only because this fight is trash with Lamont Roach. This is not a fight that I asked for. But I can't even get excited for the undercard because I don't know the goddamn undercard. Do y'all know who else is on there besides Ryo and Antoine Russell? Let's see what my people are talking about. The Queen Shawa says, that's what oh, you're talking to Uncommon. Daryl says, I have no clue who's on the Tank undercard. Yeah, King. I haven't heard a word outside of the one that I mentioned. I have not heard a word. The Great Mike says, be on the lookout for Derek Scooter Davis on that card too. Oh. Okay. I definitely will. Is that one that you're looking forward to, Great Mike? KG, salute to you. He says, great work on the thumbnail art, Mars. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. The King Uncommon says, I still feel like there's something weird about the upcoming Tank and Roach fight. There is zero buzz for this fight. Isn't that so, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Even a week removed from this fight, you would think that at least some type of something. It's nothing. No dialogue, no discussions around it whatsoever. Tank had to come out and pop out with those bullshit ass, stupid ass interviews. And that isn't even, generating buzz around the fight. More interest was generated around what he said about Devin Haney than it was about his goddamn actual fight. How crazy is that? The King Mo says, I don't see any promo around the city, just around the Barclays. Wow. Wow. The Queen Shaquilla says, nope, not a thought. Yeah, my people are, it's basically unanimous consensus. We have not heard any talk about it. We have not seen, any details about the undercard. Nothing. Queen Shawa says, Puello Martin is on it. And I've been saying I wanted that fight. Puello Martin is on that fight? Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Giannis and J-Rock is on that fight? Okay, Queen Shawa. Thank you, beautiful sis. Because I heard no rumblings about the undercard whatsoever. I saw a little fight poster, maybe a week or two ago that showed the Ryo and the Antoine Russell. And I was like, okay, that's what really made me remember that they were on that particular fight card. Nobody's goddamn talking about it. Insane. Oh, he's a young and up and coming fighter. My brother. Oh, your brother-in-law's cousin? Hold up. Let me scroll up and get his name again, King. Derek Scooter Davis. Okay, King. Great Mike. I'm going to keep a lookout for Derek Scooter Davis. I'm going to write that down and be sure to keep an eye out. Congrats to him. Wow, your brother-in-law's cousin? Okay, so you got some fam popping on a card? Let's go, Great Mike. That's fabulous. Congrats to him, and I hope that he gets the victory. Shawa says, Sandor Martin, my pure boxer matchups. Thank you for letting me know, beautiful sis. I had no idea that Sandor Martin and Puello were on that card. I had no idea. But that's gonna be a good fight. I look forward to that. Yes, King Uncommon, exactly. He just said the same thing. Yep, Sandor and Puello is a good fight. Absolutely, King. So this is the marketing budget for the face of boxing. Can any Take a Maniac explain this? Exactly, King Uncommon. Exactly. Where has the budget been given? What hasn't been, it's crazy. And it's like, what is it spent on if there's virtually no movement circulating or generating around it? Is there a budget? Maybe that's why there has been no goddamn movement or anything circling around it. Absolutely crazy work. Maybe they did, maybe they refrained from investing from it, because we already saw what that presser looked like. Y'all saw what that other presser looked like. Looked like they had it in the goddamn school cafeteria or something like that. Like in the goddamn middle school auditorium. And they had that terrible ass host that they pulled from BET. I don't know, y'all. I have no idea. It looked a mess. But we'll see what the production is looking like next Saturday. I don't know what to anticipate, except that he'll win, of course. Other than that, I don't know. But now knowing that the Puello Sandor fight is gonna be on there, that's interesting. Interesting that Antoine Russell, after his loss, is getting a title shot against Rayo. Very interesting in and of itself. So I anticipate that Russell will win that fight for sure. So that's gonna be a good scrap to see, if he can grab that strap from Rayo, and then if he's a champ, what other fights at 140 can be lined up for him. Interesting stuff for sure. How do you guys think that Antoine Russell and Frank Martin fight would fare out now that Frank is at 140? That could be very interesting, right? Martin and Russell? Gee. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Yeah, you guys, I think that's it for me. I'm trying to think if I have anything else. Anything you guys want me to cover or want me to take a look at before we dip out? Of course, a huge and warm thank you to all of you for coming and spending your Sunday with me. I really do appreciate it. Your Sunday evenings. I really do appreciate it. I had to come by and talk to the family about that phenomenal card. I know that we were all just buzzing with excitement, having seen those fantastic fights that we got to see and witness all of that. I'm hoping that, things pick up sooner than later, because after Tank's fight, I really don't know what other fights, to anticipate. I don't know what other fights are on the horizon. Have any other fights after March 1st been announced? I mean, to my understanding, we're going to have to wait till May. Devin makes his return in May. Martin Bacoli makes his return in May. I don't know who else. Is somebody fighting? I think Eubank and somebody is fighting in April. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Eubank and Conor Benn, but that's never a fight that I was interested in. So I can't say that I'm anticipating that. But it seems to me that the ones of anticipation are going to be from May onward. So you think about it, we're just now going to be in March next week. So it's like, damn, what the fuck are we going to be doing for all of March and April? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But thank you, beautiful people, for joining me. I really do appreciate you. Shout out to my gunners, the great Mike, the lovely King Daryl, my beautiful sister Shawa, the intelligent Savage in the building, all the beautiful brothers and sisters who came to join me, Stephen X, Coach Hudson, Glenn Mickens. Thank you to all my people who sent me the super chats, you guys. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting the growth of my channel. Thank you for coming to talk boxing with me, chop it up. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you. Big love and blessings to you. Salute to you as well, King Mo. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate y'all. And I will see y'all on the next one. Big and infinite love, my people. Peace and have a great night. See y'all next week.